So we've talked a lot about, HPV preventative. I appreciate all the candid information that you're giving. Thank you. But there's kind of a little bit of a backstory to this that I'd like you to kind of touch on before we wrap up here. And that is the passing and the circumstances and the struggles that you went through because you guys weren't expecting this. There was no
No.
preparation at all to even figure out anything regarding her stuff, her son. So, do you mind kind of touching on that and the circumstances you went through and what you would advise? You know.
Yeah, because I know my daughter, she was very straightforward, and I know that she had a discussion with Kaylin when she knew that she was diagnosed, and
Oh,
as the months went on, I knew she had a conversation. I don't know what was said. He still hasn't told me to this day, but
wow.
I know that she laid up in that bed with him and told him what what her life was going to be about.
Oh,
But then moving
God.
forward, now the thing is, when she was diagnosed, she reached out to his father. His father was aware, but his father did not, during those 10 months, he did not once call to say, is there anything that I could do or whatever? Nothing.
Wow.
The night of her wake, because my daughter was so well loved, the wake alone had about 500 people from law enforcement, courts. It was just crazy. Just so many.
Oh,
So she was so. But anyway, this dude and his mama show up. They show up like literally 15 minutes before the wake was over.
oh.
And one stories that I've like during the course of us being there, he was trying to, I believe, coach Kaylin to come outside so that he could take Kaylin.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, moving forward,
And Kaylin's like 11 or 12.
he's 11,
Okay.
and luckily my godson, he looked like he was part of the FBI. He kept an eye on him, and he was following him because this is the thing. I did not like in regards to his father, his other grandmother. I did not recognize the lady because I had only seen her like once or twice before
Oh, yeah,
in
yeah.
all of these
Okay.
years. So anyway, moving forward, um, you know, after she died and we had the funeral and stuff, like the father did call and said he wanted, yeah, I want to see Kaylin. And I said, Kaylin, do you want to go see him? And Kaylin said no. So, he's 11. I'm not really going to force him to go where he doesn't really want to go.
100%.
So, I don't know. I had to go to court, family court for something. And he was there. Anyway, the judge made me, I had to give Kaylin over to the father because the father was the biological parent. And the thing with that is that in family court, like the paperwork that I was filling out, had I put down the fact that he had not been in his life and he had not, I didn't put those things down in writing.
Yeah.
So therefore, and I believe everything happens for a reason. So we went through this process for about 15 months because we were already in the system.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I believe that it wasn't so much that he was concerned about Kaylin and wanted to be a father to Kaylin, but that it was more about the financial gains that were attached to Kaylin.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Oh,
and with my daughter doing her time, her 10 months, she was supposed to get a will done, but I guess even though she accepted it to a certain extent, it's still hard
yeah.
to go. So it never, like we were supposed to get, it never happened. And so because
Wow.
had she had that will
Okay.
and said, and but then, her desire was, and it had always been, because I think her, Kaylin and her and Kaylin's father were together for like the first 2 years, and then they went their separate ways. But it was always her desire to have him in Kaylin's life.
Okay.
So, I guess in her mind, maybe she was thinking that, oh, well, if I'm not going to be here anymore, he will step up and become a part of Kaylin's life.
Got it.
And, that she would be like, well, they, my mother and him, they'll be able to work it out when it comes to Kaylin.
Got it.
So, but we went through the process, and we had, like, I would get like weekends, alternate weekends.
Okay.
But when it was when everything going back and forth to court, and the judge, he was so fair. But once you get into that system,
Oh,
you have to go through. They can't, regardless of what the judge sees,
yep.
you can't just end it. You got to go through the process. And the judge saw the fact that it was a money thing and not a child love thing. So
Wow. Good for him.
he saw it and he knew it. But And so when we got our final decree back in February, I think it was like February 2015, right?
Mhm.
He says, because the stipulation was during this time period that Kaylin had to be with me the week of his mother's birthday in July,
Okay.
and he had to be with me the week of her passing, right?
Oh,
So
wow.
those
Okay.
were so basically in the summer of 2015, when Kaylin came back, the judge says, well, he's getting ready to go into high school.
Mhm.
And he says, because he's going to high school, he can determine where he wants to live.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
once Kaylin came back to me in like August of 2015, he has not seen his father. He has not heard from his father.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and one of the things that was, it bothers me too a little bit is because your son was born on February 14th,
Yeah.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
How can you can never forget that day? Plus, he was in the room when he was born, even though I ain't let him
Yes.
hold him, but like 5 or 10 minutes after the fact. But yeah, but yeah, no. So he has never heard from, he hasn't heard from him since then. And he, the father, works in an area where he sees like Kaylin's aunt, or he may see my significant other, and he does not even utter or open his mouth to say, how is Kaylin doing?
Oh,
So yeah.
my.
So so that, and that allowed, I'm not the type, to share my opinions of what I think about the father with my grandson. I let my grandson make his own decisions.
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome.
yeah, that's it. That's so, moving forward, Kaylin is doing well,
How is he
and
doing?
he's
What's
doing
he
great.
doing?
He's at Syracuse. He's a junior at Syracuse University.
That's awesome.
So parents, like, if you're, whether you're a single parent or you're a divorced parent, whatever, you need to make sure that you have things in writing, and you need to get them notarized. And if you get a will, you need to file that will at your city or state courthouse. You need to file it. I ain't do. I have a will. I have to file mine because I had that will done immediately. Well, soon after Cheryl had passed. Now,
Okay.
Kalen, like I said, Kalen, God bless him. He's a junior. He's 19 years old at Syracuse.
Yes.
And, I, you hear so much about boys and just the stuff that's going on in the world.
Mhm.
He's just a great kid. He doesn't give me any problems.
Wow.
I mean, and the thing is, I mean, he may, with me raising him. And the story, when people say, "Oh, but Linda, you done such a great job," right? I'll be like, "No, I didn't really do a great job. I'm just finishing up what his mother instilled in him."
I love that.
Because I'm just she, from birth to 11 years old, she created that foundation. She instilled in him his morals and whatever, and I just followed through. And so he's the type of young man that he may be getting smart with me, but I don't know, because he has this even tone. His voice, he doesn't elevate, and sometimes I have to sit back and replay what he just said and be like, "Boy, did you just get smart with me?" Because he's just an even killed kid, and I guess too, with him seeing his mother and seeing what his mother went through,
Yeah,
you know, it just gave him a different outlook on life, and
absolutely.
how to just, I guess, caring, and because I mean, he, like, it wasn't like his mother got sick and she went away somewhere. No, he was, other than when she was in the hospital, we went to see her, but when she was home, he was here. We were all in the same house. So he watched her from being this healthy, vibrant woman to basically deteriorate down to,
Oh my God.
yeah. But we're good now. We're good. And since, this COVID thing seems to be somewhat under control, I'm becoming able to get back out and share this literature and educate some people, and so it's good. I'm getting there.
Exactly, exactly. Um, I appreciate everything. I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to talk to us. I do like to ask one question at the end, just speaking directly to the audience. Um, women who either have HPV or may end up with it in the future. Now, looking back, 2020 is always always hindsight 2020. Um, what do you think are some things your daughter could have done differently?
Well, she could have been more mindful of her sexual partners.
Beautiful.
I mean, that in a nutshell. As a mom, I don't really want to think about the fact that she may, but that's the reality of it.
I love that.
That's
Thank
the
you.
reality of it. She could have been more mindful of her sexual activity,
Absolutely.
so because I
Amazing.
know, you know, that she was mindful of her body in regards to getting her physicals and checkups and things of that nature,
Yeah,
but her sexual history.
absolutely. Absolutely. Uh, this was wonderful. For for what it is. I so appreciate you and everything that you're doing. It's your story is so interesting because it really does seem as if your the steps that you were taking in your journey were literally setting you up for
Right,
your future.
right.
It's just ins- insane. And I want to say that I don't think I've really, I've seen the stuff like that, but there's just so much in this story that it really has you thinking, you know?
Yeah. And and like I said, not until after
Yeah.
that I saw, when I replay, like I said, the fact that he was born on Valentine's Day, and I held him for the first 45 minutes of his life,
Yeah.
and that's that bonding period. And, it's
Yeah.
just, I'm going to school for my own, I'm getting my master's for my own personal self gratification, not that I needed it, had a good job. And
Yeah.
then lo and behold, so everything, people, we don't realize that our steps are already ordered,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that as you get older or whatever, you just want to, you don't even have to be older, but if you just reflect back over something that happened, and you be like, oh, okay, so this happened, but then after this, so we are living, our steps are already ordered. It's just for us to realize the pattern that we've already walked.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This was great. Do you have
Thank
any
you.
closing thoughts before I close up?
No, you know what? Thank you for this platform.
Of course.
Like I said, I've looked at a few of your podcasts. I need to go back and watch some more, but they all are very informative.
Thank you.
And it's, you're amazing to offer a platform where people can come, women can come and talk so freely.
Yeah.
And you have that gift to make everybody feel comfortable. That's awesome. So,
Thank you.
and I'm so grateful to have this platform to share my story, but also to make women think about what's going on with their bodies, but also now they understand that, oh, this is just not a female thing. If you have young boys, if you have sons, and especially if they're under the age of 26, have that conversation with them. you know the younger the better, if you can get them vaccinated, because boys, they are the carriers,
Wow.
and we tend to be more concerned about our daughters and forget about our sons,
Yeah, I
because
just 100%.
we got a lot of things going on. You got breast cancer, you got ovarian cancer, we got all of these things, but we don't think about our sons who can get, throat cancer, anal cancer, penile cancer. So there are things. So if we can do something that can possibly protect them from certain types of cancers, why not take advantage of it, get it done? And it's just like any other vaccine.
Got it. Yes, thank you for saying that. And it's so interesting that you said that because during this entire conversation, I've been thinking of myself and I've been thinking, I need to go to the doctor and see about this because I've been tested for, all the STDs, but I've never even thought to even ask if that was part of it. So I don't even know. I don't
Right.
even know if I have it. But I'm thinking about myself, and I have a 17-year-old son. So thank you for closing up with that because
Yes.
he's right there in the age of who knows what he's doing, you know?
Right. Right. So you haven't had him vaccinated?
No,
All right now.
this is what I'm saying. We're not educated. We're not educated in all of the things. And there's so much that we feel like we need to be doing and getting done that things fall through the cracks unless we're reminded by someone like you.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so make sure you go get your son vaccinated. Make that
Yes.
appointment. You got to get 3 shots, but he'll be all right. It's
Yeah.
just, it's like any other vaccine. He'll be all right.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much. I'm going to close
Thank
up here.
you.
This was absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us here on Her Version for those of you that are watching live and those of you that are watching on the replay. If you have an amazing story to share of struggle to triumph, be sure to reach out to me here or at herversion.life. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria, and I'm so grateful to be here sharing a platform that allows people to share their truth and inspire others. Do something awesome today. Much love.